because we had this, what do you call, the shops where we didn't have any elevators or something. Now you can see in most of the malls we have the elevators which are sensors enabled. So as soon as you step near the first step, the sensor will detect that there's some movement and it starts rolling up. Okay, so that's one of the technology that been evolved over the years, and online orders, which is taking a current trend. Okay, so all these are the examples of Internet of Things. So just a simple way, what is Internet of Things is connecting the unconnected. Okay, making the people and the objects to interact so that they communicate and data are exchanged between the people and the objects. I hope everyone are listening here. So next, let's go for the next topic. What actually the main definition of Internet of Things is, we are trying to connect all the devices over the network. Okay, and what are these devices? There are examples of different Internet of Things. One, we have smart city, and one where IoT mostly enables our industrial applications. Okay, and mobility, connected mobility, where majority mobility plays a role, where we try to connect the sensors. And next, health and fitness. Most of us, I think we have the watch, which has been embedded on the humans, where it can detect the blood pressure or the pulse rate, all those things, okay, which we are currently using. And then entertainment and consumer electronics playing a major role of IoT and smart homes. So these are the examples of IoT, where the major part of these devices are connected over the networks. Okay, where a lot of data are exchanged between the sensors, actuators, and the devices. So if they ask you what is IoT, you can just define telling that connecting the unconnected, trying to connect the people and the objects, exchanging the data over the internet, and some of the few examples of Internet of Things. So this is your first question that they will ask you, and you can answer this. Okay, next topic is genesis of IoT. Usually this is not the common question that they ask, but the topic embedded with this is the first question they may ask you again in the choice question. Okay, so when was this IoT actually evolved? In 2008 and 9. And who was actually the author or the creator, we can say? The name is Kevin Ashton. Okay, he was the person who actually found the evolution of internet and how these internets are categorized from 2009 to the present era. So the next slide will explain how the evolution phases of internet happens. So this is again an important question in your first question. What are the different phases of internet? People, it's very easy, very easy. There are 4 phases of internet. The first phase of internet is called connectivity. Okay, so once you draw this diagram and read the content in it, you can yourself write by yourself. Okay, so earlier I'm speaking about 2007 and 8, where the internet started existing, and people started having their what do you call, the desktop in the homes, which are connected by the modems. Okay, so that was the first phase of internet. The main aim of those phase was just connecting. Okay, and they were allowing the digitalized access, that is, where the information was being accessed between one person to the other by using the internet. So examples are email, web browsers, and search. These are the only 3 categories came into existence when internet came into existence, and people started utilizing it. And this 13 years or 14 years down the lane, the main purpose of internet was to just sending the emails and messages was happening, where you could not send lot of high what do you call, memory data, where the videos or audios cannot be sent because it used to take lot of data. The modem which we had was a very little bandwidth, which allows us to only exchange the information. So the first phase of the internet is connectivity. I repeat, this phase connected the people to email, web services, and where the information was being easily accessed. That's all, people, you have to write in the first phase of internet. Okay, second phase of internet, where it is called digitalized business or the network economy. This phase actually where the e-commerce came into existence and supply chain enhancement. Okay, where it was mainly used for business perspectives. See, the first phase of the internet was used only to exchange the information. The second phase, they embedded the business into it. Okay, so they started having a digital supply chain management and e-commerce, where business played a major role. They try to increase the efficiency of the business process by having this e-commerce into existence. See, earlier when the e-commerce came, there were a lot of issues, even to select the whatever the things that you want to purchase in internet. Okay, there were lots of rules and there were lots of lax problems happening in when ordering it. You would have ordered something and the selection of order will be different, and payment of modes were different, because that was the second phase of internet where it just evolved, where the business plays a major role. So two phases of internet is done. The third phase is immersive experience. That is, people actually we can talk about this like 4 years before, where the social media came into existence and plays a major role, where people started having the what do you call, the smartphones in your hand. Okay, where social mobility, cloud, video, all this played a major role. See, in the first two phases where there were no enough bandwidth, so the what do you call, the data bandwidth were very less there. Again, it was only used for digital information exchange and for e-commerce or whatever it is. But the 4 years before, the third phase of internet played a major role, where they try to exchange a lot of media. Okay, and the bandwidth was enough to do all those things. Okay, but still we had an what do you call, the bandwidth problem. And then now the current era, we call it as the Internet of Things or digitalized the world. Okay, so complete world is digitalized, where Internet of Things is playing a major role. Okay, where people, process, data, things all are connected to each other. And how are they digitalized? By exchanging the information. So this is all about the evolution phases of internet. If they ask the question, what is the different phases of internet, you have to write this. Or if they ask, what are the different category in the genesis of IoT or the evolution of internet, you have to write the all four phases. Actually, looking at the diagram itself, it clearly differentiate what are the four different phases of internet. Okay, so I repeat, in the first phase, the earlier 2007 and 8, where the main purpose was to only access email or exchanging the information. Then came for e-commerce and digital supply chain management. And in the third phase, where the mobility played a major role, where we started using mobile phones by exchanging a lot of audios and videos. And now the present era, which we call it as Internet of Things, where people, process, data, and things are all connected. Okay, an expected question in your exam. And let's go for the next topic. So whatever I spoke, it's in the process. So if you can read this PPT also, more than enough. It will help you. Already this PPT is shared in your WhatsApp groups. Please read this. This is more than enough to elaborate and write, and you can write it by yourself. Okay. So I think there's no doubt in it, because it's too very simple, because now you know the advanced completely about what is the Internet of Things. This is all something very basic for you. So the next topic is IoT and digitalization. Okay, when the terms IoT and digitalization are often interchangeable. That is, the main purpose of IoT is to exchange the data. What data? All the digital data, which is being connected people and me. So this two are at each other and one term it interchangeably. They may either call it as Internet of Things or digitalization. We call it as IoT and digitalization. The key difference, what is that small difference between the, we just focus on connecting purpose is to make sure that people, objects are connected to network. That's all. Their main motive is that connection has happened between the people, object over the network, the data which is being generated. Okay, for example, I already told you in the class, people, this Wi-Fi location. In any malls, as soon as you enter, the Wi-Fi okay, and okay, I was talking about the Wi-Fi location tracking in the shopping mall. I already told you there are a lot of benefits of the shopping mall people. Why are they giving the free Wi-Fi? I already told you. As soon as you people enter, they will give you the Wi-Fi free. So what will these people who actually give the Wi-Fi will track all the clients. Where are they actually moving? Are they moving to first floor more, second floor, third floor, or fourth floor? They'll come to know mobility of the people through the Wi-Fi location tracker. Okay, the main purpose is to find out which shop where a lot of people are going, so that in that particular places they try to board all the advertisements. Okay, so that is the business strategy that they use. Okay, for example, after roaming completely over the mall, you land up in the fourth floor for the food having food, right? When you're tired, you go for the fourth floor. So using this Wi-Fi location tracking, they'll find out where are the people maximally moving in the malls, so that they can use for more advertisements, and actually they categorize the price of the shops also based on that. For example, you can see in the second, third floor, you won't have much of the shopping items. There you can see this grocery markets only, either in the second or the third floor, because people tend to move mostly on the ground floor, first floor, and the last floor. So these are the business tactics, people, and how Wi-Fi location tracking is helping and how it is digitalized. Got it? And now let's see how this digitalization evolved. The first thing that you people have to know is, before the term IoT was introduced, IoT was known as IoE, okay, which is called as Internet of Everything. Okay, the name is Internet of Everything. Later, it just changed when digitalization was added to IoE. We call it as IoT. So IoE and digitalization together, we call it as Internet of Things. Okay, and then I'll just give you a few examples how digitalization had a great shift over so many years. Okay, I'll just give you some three examples which I already told in the class. If you remember, fine. If not, please remember. These are the examples how the digitalization evolved. Earlier, over 5 or 10 years back, the photography, we used to take the video rental, or we had cameras with the film, where it used to take only 26 to 36 photos, where you have to take the photo and then watch the photos, and you have to rent it out. Okay, and but how the digitalization evolved, now everyone have their smartphones, where all those things are not required. Okay, the digital formattation or the information that is being converted is completely changed. That is first example. The second example is this videotapes. The earlier people used to rent out the videotapes and they used to see the movies. Okay, but now we all have the phone apps where we can download the movies and then we can see the movies. So how the digitalization and business plays a huge role. Okay, now the digitalization major we see the real-time application is our Uber and Ola. Okay, so how is this digitalization playing a major role with IoT is all the sensors which have been embedded in the Ola cabs. Okay, detecting where actually the driver is. Okay, how long will the driver takes to come to your pickup points. Okay, and then how is the traffic rules and how much is the distance covered. Everything is digitalized. You just get it in a minute. By the time it just rolls for 2 to 3 times, you get the information where actually the car is and how much you have to pay and how long does it take for you to reach the destination. All these are the digital upgrade. Okay, so when you talk about something about digitalization, people write all these examples. One write about the video camera, second write about the video tapes, and the third you write about the Ola cabs. Okay, or Uber, whatever it is. Okay, and then now we have the Nest sensors, which most of our houses has. For example, smoke alarm, video cameras, and which are all connected to our third-party devices. Sitting in one place, finding out what's happening in the house, which is again, we call it as a major drift in digitalization. Okay, so this is the second topic, IoT and digitalization. You need not to study anything, people. You can write it in your own words, whatever I have explained now. Okay, the next one is IoT impact. Okay, now how is that major drift happening in IoT over the years? Please look into the PPT which I have shared now. From 2003 to currently, they are showing how many devices were they using. See, earlier in 2003 to 2008, we had a very small mobile phones. Okay, which only used to receive the calls and call the person. Secondly, we had the messaging facility. In 2008, where messaging played a major role, where only 100 SMS were given per day, where people used to exchange the information using the messages in 2008. When you see a man with only one device, see, it is not a phone. We are talking about the Internet of Things. That is things. How many things that people were connected with. And then you can see in 2010, people will had two devices. That is, in the home, you already had some desktop, okay, or some IoT devices along with the phone. And 2015, you can see you people had 1 to 2 phones, and then Internet of Things connected. Like we had this Nest sensors embedded in the house. Not majority, the IoT played a major role in 2015. It just existed, like started existing. Okay, and then in 2020, now we can see people having multiple connections, right? Mobile phones and then internet connected to your laptop. That's all one device is there. And then any sensor embedded in your house, your car, in
Ma'am, your voice is breaking, ma'am. We can't hear you.
Or the smartphones or smart watches, all those things are the IoT impact. Can you see the changes from 2003 to 2020? Okay, now this is a real-time example with the impact. When internet started. Okay, 1 second. Spot and kept the phone outside the window. We are talking about the IoT impact. Firstly, I told you the Google played a major role in the Internet of Things, where they introduced the concept of connecting roadways. Okay, this had a major boom in IoT, where there were a lot of talks how actually the IoT is helping in connecting the roadways by introducing a Google self-driving car. Okay, where a lot of sensors were embedded inside and outside the car. Okay, where most of the components which has been connected in the car are connected to all the sensors. This helps us to have a connected roadways. Sometimes the data were exchanged unidirectional, sometimes the data were exchanged bidirectional. Okay, and what was the data? I'll give you certain examples how it was done. Okay, so you can simply write in your own words what is this connected roadways does. People, we all know what is IoT. IoT is connecting all the unconnected. Okay, where people, objects are connected to network. Here, who is the people? There's no people. Self-driving car. It means that whatever the components being embedded in the car is connected to lot of devices. What is my devices? Sensors, which is embedded inside and outside, where how the informations are exchanged by exchanging the data between the sensors. It is fully automated. Sometimes the data get exchanged unidirectional, sometimes it get exchanged bidirectional. Okay, and they also speak about what are the different types of sensors. We already know what are the different parts in the car. Okay, for example, oil pressure, tire pressure, the temperature inside the car, and other operating conditions. All those had a sensor embedded. Okay, from steering vehicle, if you had a driver inside, how the driver used to access the data, how he is to control the steering wheels and pedals together. All this was the major challenge by Google, and they successfully did it. Okay, so where without human they tried to drive the car. And how to do it? I already told many times about this Google car, where all the devices which are there in the car is being connected to sensors. Instantly, these sensors, whatever the information they get collected, get exchanged, and the movement of the car happens. For example, the steering vehicle and the pedals. That is accelerating speed and the brake, where you have to apply the brake, where it is not applied. How is this? How you can do? By the camera, which is being embedded outside the car, will give you the images, how much speed that you have to go. For example, how many kilometers per hour you have to go, which is the place that you have to apply the brake. So what is happening there? There's a coordination of the steering and the pedal happening between the cameras, which has been embedded outside the cars. How are they speaking? By exchanging the data. You got it now? How it is happening in the Internet of Things? That's how they used to connect the cars, where the cars were speaking to each other, challenge, okay, by connecting the roadways. Now we made a car where it used to drive without any driver by having all the components embedded inside and outside, okay, and they have tested also, and it was very successful. Not here, not in the Indian roads, it was outside the country. They didn't do it in the Indian roads. Now they can do, because now we have enabled all the traffic into a sensors. So easily the cars can exchange the information using the traffic signal sensors, etc. and etc. Okay, so there are the points that you have to see how the vehicles provide reliable communication by exchanging the data with the sensors. Example, either using driver car or driverless car. Okay, and then we speak about how the thousands of sensors are connected inside and outside, how the data are exchanged, and how it is supporting. Now, the major challenges that was addressed by connecting roadways are three major challenges. So this is the important question, people. They may ask you, what are the challenges faced by connecting roadways? You have to write whatever I spoke along with the three major challenges. So when you have a connected roadways, what is this connected roadways, people? Just connecting the roads using Internet of Things. Okay, what is that Internet of Things? By connecting all the sensors of traffic signals, cars, and the devices embedded in the car. Okay, so these are put together is my connected roadways. Okay. So what are the three concerns that they took into major consideration when developing this connected roadways are? The first one is reduced. Okay, how is that crashes all reduced? I'll give you an example in the next few minutes. Okay, the next one is mobility. Okay, played a major role. Okay, how is this mobility played a major role? Is when lots of cars are being connected and they are all moving. Okay, where they are all wirelessly connected, and how the mobility played a major role. Okay, by having a routing in the vehicles. I'll give you an example. Then the third one is environment. By using the selfless driving cars and all, by considering the safety and mobility into consideration, the carbon dioxide produced by the cars eventually reduced. Okay, so I'll give you an example. For example, a car is being driven from Kyapuram to Electronic City, and we see major what do you call the traffic jam happening in Marathalli. Okay, what this mobility will do is it will show the alternate routing for the people, which we already have now in the GPS. It will show the alternate path where you try to take the other way rather than going into this traffic jam. So what's happening if this mobility was not into consideration? You used to go to the same path and then you get stuck with the traffic jam and you try to emit a lot of carbon dioxide. That's how I told you how it supports environment. Okay, say suppose you are traveling again and you found a major accident happen due to some holes which is not being closed and which you didn't see. Okay, so major accidents are happening. So what this safety measures and all does is, once the car moving in that place will raise the issue that there's some problem happening and a lot of accidents happening, try to be aware. And the data will be exchanged between the cars, and that's how the safety played a major role. So now you got it, safety, mobility, and environment. Okay, so these are the challenges which are being addressed by connected roadways. Then I talked about the intersection problem usually happen. That also was overcome by this connected roadways. For example, I told you we have an intersection where there are 4 sides of people coming into that intersection, and who is going to take the first priority to cross those intersections. So say suppose there are 2 cars coming into the same time, and who is going to take the priority? So when you have this Internet of Things connected, the signals embedded in that, both the cars, one of that will give the direction for the car to go. The other one has to wait until the first car moves and the second car will move later. Okay, so the accident prevention over the intersection will be prevented majorly when you have this connected roadways. So we call that as an application of intersection movement assist. Okay, IMA. If you have this question, please explain IoT connected roadways with a neat example, graphical representation of IMA. You can write this. Okay, just write 4 lanes, write 1 circle, and just explain whatever I have told you. How safely the cars will move through the intersection. Okay, and there is a majorly impact on business. Yes, cargo management people have this vehicle tracking system in their vehicles. Okay, so when these roads are connected and these vehicles are connected over IoT, this vehicle tracking systems, okay, helps in major things. For example, theft of the vehicle can be easily detected. Okay, when you have a sensors embedded, we can find out where actually these vehicles are moving. Secondly, in cargo management, the main business is how the whatever the products that they have to deliver into destination, they'll come to know. Now we have an app, you know, in all the online things where actually the product is moving. They'll tell you, no, it has been dispatched. It has gone to the destination. The receiver has received. All these are called the vehicle tracking system people. So which played a major role in business, okay, and vehicle tracking system, and also en route provided congestion control also. Whether the congestion, for example, I told you en routing, for example, accident zone or traffic zone and all. Easily the data, millions of data will be exchanged. So the car which is going to arrive in the next few minutes in that destination will be sent and information. Please don't come in this route. Please enroute yourself into the different place. So this is again one example of this connected roadways. Okay, now let's see the last information in this topic is connected car. In this connected car, what are all the things being embedded? First one, in the connected car, we have a wireless router. Okay, this wireless router, what is all that used for? I already told you, this wireless router helps us for security, mapping, and for safety. And very important thing, online entertainment also done. I already told in the classes many times, so Ola has started giving you this favorite songs and all. The tab embedded that is that wireless router embedded in the car, the connected, that is supporting. Number one, what are all there in the connected car? First one is wireless router. What and all they are used for? Security. Second thing which has been embedded in the connected car is connected sensors. What does this connected sensors does? They only transform the data and they do some enable proactive maintenance and they help us for collision avoidance and fuel efficiency. The intersection movement assistance is again one more question. I told you intersection of vehicle being now with interconnection roads. Then have this connected car. I know about the wireless route connected sensors, and the last, the one which I have in the connected car. Okay, that is it reduce the congestion, increase the efficiency, and provide the safety. I asked about IMA that they face. What are the three challenges? Safety, mobility, and environment. If they ask you, it will be around for 12 marks people about connected roadways if they ask. If they don't ask connected roadways, the next question will be about connected factories. Okay, either that will come or this will come. Last time I think they asked connected roadways. The expected question for this time is connected factory. Okay, so now people understand it's very simple. Connected roadways is all about talking about the cars, how it has been connected with Internet of Things, that is the sensors, and how it's supported the IMA, intersection movement assist, and how the connected car, what and all is the sensors being embedded. All those things I spoke about more than 15 minutes. More than enough to write for you people. If they don't ask that question, the next question will be about the connected factory. So connected roadways, we came to know it's all about transport, safety, all those things. And coming to connected factory, what it means, people, that your factory is being embedded with some IoT devices. Okay, earlier in the factories and all, like 4 years, 5 years before, there were no sensors embedded factories. Okay, a lot of people where human played a major role. Only the electronic devices were being embedded, and they started using those devices, and they were manufacturing the products. All those came into existence, where Internet of Things had no major role. But now, when you call it as connected factory, it means that the factory is being connected by most of the devices, where devices are connected over the network. Okay, so when you are talking about this connected factory, you people have to talk about the earlier factory and what are all the new factories which is being embedded with IoT. You have to compare and talk a little bit, and then you have to speak whatever I am going to speak for the next few minutes, and then we'll end this topic. Okay, so another few minutes, I'll end the topic. So please listen. So today we learned so many things. In brief, it's like half the module that you have learned. Okay, if you have listened to the class, it is very easy for you to write. So let's see, connected factory. So earlier, the main, what do you call, the traditional factories, we'll call it as a traditional factories, where the customers partners and a supply chain had a lack of visibility of operations. Okay, I already gave an example of metal ore where we try to actually extract the ore in the mines. I gave you examples earlier. So what you used to do, your plant will be in a different place and your office will be in a different place. So when you have to exchange any information, you have to travel all the way from your mine to your office. Okay, but now when the internet connect, IoT sensors are embedded and all, easily the information will be exchanged. Person sitting from a factory to the mining place. Okay, so we are just speaking about the traditional factories and the factories now which has been connected with the IoT. We call it as a connected factory. So what are all the challenges that they faced earlier, and now what are all the challenges that we have overcome? Okay, so starting from the plant floors or front office suppliers, we had lots and lots of challenges in where the operation of these plant floors or front office suppliers were all very minimized. Okay, because of lack of information being exchanged between those people. So what are the issues that they had over the quality problem is how the new products got accelerated in the market and how these products has reached the customers and how the market opportunities using this IoT has enabled to sell their product. Earlier what they used to do, they used to do the supply products and go to the main retailers and they used to sell the products. But now it is not so. Okay, now it is all IoT enabled. Okay, we have a customer and a market where the factory and the customers are directly being connected using so many online application apps which has been developed now, where we can directly take the whatever the products that you want to buy from the factory itself, and how this products have delivered to the customers by having lot of advertisements. Now we see everywhere the advertisement is ruling actually. Okay, without advertisement, I don't think a product get easily sold out. Okay, so first one is how the new products were accelerated between the customer and the market. Okay, and then how to increase the plant production based on quality and decreasing the cost. So this is the major thing. Everywhere you see, you go to the company also, where you have to develop your product in such a way that you have to do a code in such a way that lot of errors should be less, and you have to get your product or you have to code the product in such a way that whatever the customer is requesting you. So similarly, they are reducing the cost and increasing the quality. That is again the major goal. Third one is how do you actually have a waste control happening in your factories, because these are the, when you have a control over the waste, actually you can save lot of amount. Okay, and the next one, securing the factories from the cyber threat. Obviously, if you are getting connected with the sensors and the informations are exchanged between them, you have to be really careful between the cyber threats. Okay, and decrease the high cabling and recabling costs. Okay, you know what is high cabling and recabling. Okay, the next one is improve the workers' productivity and safety. So when connected factory came into existence, they took this as a major challenge. Make sure that all these points are covered so that when your factories are IoT enabled, all these factors are being considered. Got it, people? So these are the connected factories. You can simply write in your own words, people, about the traditional factories and your present factories. Take some 1 or 2 examples. Okay, include this and just write it in your own words. Okay, so now when we are comparing with the traditional factories with the connected factories or the IoT enabled factories, we are just seeing how the technologies are being improved from the traditional factories to the present. You can't keep your own old machinery, try to develop the product and to try to improve the productivity. You have to have some retooling over the technologies that you have to done. So now you can see in major factories and all, biometrics have been introduced in major IT industries where you need not to tap your ID card also. So as soon as you enter, it will scan your attendance. As soon as you leave, it will scan your attendance, and it will also monitor how much time you're working, you're active in the system, and how you're working. So all those things have come now. Okay, so people now you're sitting in the online classes, you're moving here and there, doing your own work, which is not monitored. But in the factories, when you go, they'll cleanly monitor all those things. We have a census for everything. Okay, how long you're working, how quality products that you are developing, are you just simply sitting, all those things will be monitored. Okay, we have a connected IT factories available now. Okay, and we have a different IoT solutions. See, now major problem when it comes to connected factory is how many devices that you're going to connect, how many sensors that you are going to connect. So when that comes into existence, how much of data will be exchanged, and how are you managing those data, and how you are going to increase your productivity. Okay, I already gave a metal ore and mining example. Please write that example. And now we have a most real-time location system, RTLS. So here when you're talking about connected factory, you have to write about RTLS, real-time location system. Okay, all the things I'm talking now about the real-time location system. And so when you write about the connected roadways, you have to write about IMA, intersection movement assistant. When you are talking about connected factory, you have to write about real-time location system. If you write about this, you will get full marks, people. Blindly, you will get full marks. Okay. So this is the last topic. I'm just going to end in few minutes. Okay, the 4 industrial revolution that happened by having this connected factory. Can you see down in the last part, industry 1.0, the mechanical assistance, where we will speak about the 18th century people, where we had basic machines. For example, we can take this rice mill, or where the lot of cloths were being produced. Okay, where the basic machines with water and steam were the part of production family. Okay, then came the 2.0 version of the industries, where the division of labor and electricity played a major role. Okay, without electricity, they were not able to do any work. So we are talking about early 20th century. Okay, and then comes where electronics played a major role. That is, electronics and IT, information technology, played a major role in production. Then the industry 4.0 version came, that is today, where Internet of Things played a major role. Okay, where most of the factories are connected with the sensors. The interconnectivity happened very nicely with all the technologies, and how the connected factories are supporting. Today's class, this is all about. So today, what and all we learned? We learned what is IoT, genesis of IoT, 4 phases of internet that we learned. Okay, and then we learned what is IoT and digitalization, and then we saw what is Iot Impact, and then we saw the connected roadways, how the Google self-driving car had a challenges. What are the 3 challenges? Safety, mobility, and environmental. And then we spoke about the application of intersection movement assistant and the connected car. What are all the routers, sensors, and how the connectivity happen, and what are the challenges. And then the last topic now which we covered is the connected factory, comparing the traditional factories with the IoT enabled factories, and what are the challenges that they are facing in productions. And when you are speaking about the connected factory, you have to give a real-time example, real-time location system example. That I didn't give you an example. I'll give you just a minute. And then 4 industrial revolution. This is the one which I have displayed on the PPT now. All these things are the 4 industrial revolution. So when they ask about a real-time location system over the connected factory, people, you can give this example. That is the real-time location and the status. Okay, where the sensors are connected over the networks, and networks actually talk. How they talk? By exchanging the information. For example, when major people want to have some production of certain things, they all will come to that production hall and started doing their work. What will happen? A bottleneck will happen, and there will be a quality problem. So this, when you have enabled this IoT sensors, it will easily detect what are the future problems that it may enable over the network, and it will give an alert in a advanced manner. Okay, So this real-time location system, like sensors and components, they all talk to the networks and prevent all the strategies, targets. Okay, so this is all about today's class. Afira,